It is now a new day, and William and Daenerys Targaryen wake up, and as they both get dressed, William notices something different about her, and she kind of seems intrigued by William's looking at her the way he does. Is there something wrong with him? No. I'm always wondering why you would look at me on occasions the way you do. Well, am I not allowed to admire the beauty of the queen, who I sit at the right hand following in her stead? He has a smile about this. Yes, you are, William. I like your outfit. It looks very good. You think so? Well, I think anything you wear is good, even when you wear nothing. Gonna make laugh about that. We're not gonna go there, William, because I know where that would end up, and we would be going to finish the Targaryen Hall genealogy history. Yes, I understand. Sorry. It's okay, William. So, shaking her head again, this is a strange comment that her human husband, William, would make. They end up going into the dining hall. And so, as she then takes her seat and they begin having breakfast together, they talk about the next lesson part that will continue regarding the Civil War known as the Dance of the Dragons. Masandi then finally comes in. Good morning, William. I see you're ready to continue your genealogy lessons. Yes, Miss Lundy. I've been learning a lot. Oh, this is good. Um, I've gotten to read a little bit myself before you came in our world. It is full of symbolism and much mystery. Yes, I am finding this out. And William then looks towards Daenerys. She, that is our queen, is a mysterious young lady. He kind of smiles about this. Look at William in a funny way, wondering what else he's going to say. But I do love mysteries, and anyone who would choose me, though I be a human and be of much mystery, it greatly intrigues me and attracts me. Well, I guess this is good then. Our queen has chosen well. Well, I can't say that because that would make me sound vain, but if you think so, and if she thinks so, then I'm okay with this. Well, then, um, I guess we shall see what happens after you take your next lessons then. So Daenerys, without any further ado, after the breakfast has been finished, stands. Are you ready, William, to continue your lessons? Yes, my queen. I mean, Daenerys. It's okay, William. Miss Anmi, we shall be back shortly. Very well, then. You enjoy your lesson study of the House of Targaryen, William. I will do that, Miss Andy, and you have a great morning. Thank you. And so she takes her leave. So with no further lingering, Daenerys then leads William by the hand past the staircase with the Targaryen flag. And once inside, she then instructs William to have a seat. You shall sit over there, as before, and I will go to the library and get out the continuing scroll about the civil war known as Dance of the Dragons between Aegon the second Targaryen and Rhaenys, not Rhaenys, but Rhaenyra Targaryen, so that you may continue the genealogy and learning about my house and of the lineage that I come from. Very well, then. So William goes and takes the seat. She comes back with the scroll and puts it down in front of William. In this one, William, you will continue to learn about the rivalry between a half brother and half sister. Some people say that Aegon II Targaryen had a right to rule, and there have been others who felt that she was the traitor because she didn't yield to her half brother. On the other hand, there's others that feel that for at that time, Viserys the First Targaryen's last will and testament as a king was violated by his son Aegon II, and that Rhaenyra was supposed to be on the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdom. When you finish this, William, you can give me your thoughts and see what you think. Well, I'd be delighted to do that, Daenerys. I will use good judgment as always. Well, this is good to hear. I like the idea you keep an open mind. So, with that, then William begins to start his lessons.
Rhaenyra Targaryen. Lady Rhaenyra Targaryen was the second wife of Prince Daemon Targaryen and gave birth to twin daughters, Rhaena and Baela Targaryen. A dragon rider from House Targaryen, she rode the dragon Vhagar. She died from complications of childbirth. Parents and character. Rhaena was tall, slender, and surpassingly lovely, with a great mane of silver gold ringlets that fell down past her waist. It was said she had inherited the beauty of her mother, Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was, and the adventurous spirit of her father, Lord Corlys Velaryon, ruling lord of the Driftmark. In history, Rhaena was a candidate for queen during the Great Council of 101 AC. She had one brother, Rhaenyra, who was 1 year younger than her. After the death of Queen Aemma, King Viserys I Targaryen's small council advised him to marry Rhaena, though she was only 12 at the time. He instead married Alicent Hightower, and House Velaryon was noticeably absent from the wedding. Rhaena was engaged to a son, the Sea Lord of Braavos. When his father died, he squandered his money and power and came to Driftmark. Her father repeatedly found ways to postpone their wedding until the Braavosi exile was slain by Prince Daemon Targaryen in a duel. At the age of 22, Rhaena married Daemon, and knowing that their marriage would upset the Iron Throne, they flew first to Pentos, then other free cities. Their dragons, Rhaena's Vhagar and Daemon's Caraxes, drew crowds wherever they went. She gave birth to two twin daughters, Rhaena and Baela Targaryen, in Pentos, and eventually returned to Driftmark by ship when Daemon flew to Westeros to ask for Viserys' blessing. While at Driftmark, Rhaena became good friends with Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, and they would often fly together. Rhaenyra announced the engagement of her eldest sons to Rhaena's daughters. Rhaenyra attended Rhaena during her labor of her son. The child was malformed and died an hour after being born, and Rhaena died 3 days later from childbed fever, despite the efforts of Rhaenyra's maester from Dragonstone, Gerardis. She tried to fly to Vhagar one last time before she died, but collapsed on the tower steps. Rhaenyra Targaryen. Sir Rhaenyra Targaryen was a knight from House Targaryen and was the first husband of Prince Rhaenyra Targaryen. He was a dragon rider whose dragon was Sea Smoke. Appearance and character. Rhaenyra had an aquiline nose, silver white hair, and purple eyes. Sir Criston Cole alluded that boys were not safe around him. It was widely accepted that at the age of 19, Rhaenyra had not shown any interest in women, instead preferring the company of men his own age. In history, Rhaenyra was the son of Lord Corlys Velaryon and Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. He was 1 year younger than his sister, Laena. During the Great Council of 101 AC, some lords spoke for Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra was knighted a fortnight before his wedding with Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen in 114 AC. His groom and likely lover, Sir Joffrey Lonmouth, was mortally wounded by Sir Criston Cole during the wedding's tourney. Rhaenyra refused to leave Joffrey's side during his passing. Rhaenyra returned to high tide while Rhaenyra remained at court in King's Landing. Rhaenyra eventually found a new favorite, the household knight Sir Carl Corey. Sir Rhaenyra and Princess Rhaenyra had 3 sons, Princess Jacaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey Velaryon, the last name after Joffrey Lonmouth. It was noted none of the children resembled either Rhaenyra or their mother in appearance, causing many to suspect that the children's real father was Sir Harwin Strong. Rhaenyra was slain by his friend Harl over a quarrel in Spicetown in 120 AC. King Viserys I Targaryen brought his court and dragons to Driftmarsh to the funeral. None of Rhaenyra's sons survived the later civil war, the Dance of the Dragons. Now, as you can see in this slide here, this is the update for Rhaenys Velaryon, who is actually a maiden name Targaryen, the queen that never was. Corlys Velaryon married Rhaenys. Then between them, they had Laena Velaryon and Rhaenyra Velaryon. Daemon, Rhaenyra's uncle, married Laena Velaryon. From that marriage came 2 daughters, Rhaena and Baela. When Laena Velaryon passed away, Uncle Daemon became a single father. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra Velaryon married Rhaenyra. Even though he had a love for men, as strange as it may sound, 3 sons were born: Jacaerys Velaryon, Lucerys Velaryon, and Joffrey Velaryon. From that marriage, Rhaenyra even made her uncle Daemon a proposal, and before Laena Velaryon had passed on, she was even told about the arrangement, but she didn't live long enough to see the marriage take place. So in the end, Daemon got to see both his daughters, Rhaena Targaryen and Baela Targaryen, marry the 2 of 3 sons, who were the oldest, Jacaerys Velaryon and Lucerys Velaryon. Now, it is uncertain whether the rumors are true or not, but I would imagine that Laena Velaryon was supposed to have married someone else, it's Rhaena of Laena Velaryon later on, after the Dance of the Dragons, was supposed to have married somebody and had somewhere between 5 or 6 children. But no such records are found, and therefore the most that is said in general is that she had 6 children. Nothing further of the legend is ever mentioned. Baela, on the other hand, it's uncertain whether she had children or not. If she did, they were probably not considered legitimate enough to carry on a genealogy. So Baela is shown without any. Also, there is the rumor that Rhaenyra Velaryon, prior to marrying Rhaenyra Targaryen, had met a mistress named Merelda of Hull. And through the meeting of Merelda of Hull came 2 sons, Alan of Hull, and Adam of Hull. Now, Adam of Hull, I believe, is the one that was supposed to marry Rhaena, the daughter of Lena Targaryen, to have the 6 children. Adam of Hull has not said whether he had children or not, because again, like Baela, nothing has ever shown, or probably wasn't even worthy enough to put in the Targaryen genealogical records. So that's the entire part for Lena Valerian and Lenore Valerian. And now for the opening of the Dance of Dragons, the Civil War, known as the Dragon Wars. Okay, we're going to do a brief review on Rhaenyra Targaryen. Because the Dragon Wars, as the human husband to Daenerys Targaryen House Targaryen understands it, which is actually Dance of Dragons, is partly involves her and the other one who was crowned after Viserys I had been named king. So for her, it's the faction of the Blacks. Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen shared as the realm's delight when she was young, later called the Half-Year Queen, was the firstborn child of King Viserys I Targaryen. Rhaenyra was King Viserys I's only living child by his first wife, Aemma of House Arryn. At the age of 8, she was made her father's heir and grew up expecting to become the first ruling queen of Westeros. Her claim to the Iron Throne was challenged by her younger half-brother, Aegon II Targaryen, sparking the civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. She was the mother of two kings, Aegon III and Viserys II. Rhaenyra's personal seagull was the normal Targaryen heraldry, a three-headed red dragon on a black field, quartered with the moon and falcon seagull of House Arryn, for her mother Aemma Arryn, and the silver seahorse on sea green of House Valerian for her first husband Lenore Valerian, as well as with the Valerians in general, who were among her major supporters. During the dance, her faction used her personal heraldry as their battle flag. Appearance and character. Rhaenyra had her family's Valerian looks, wearing her silver gold hair in a long braid in the manner of Aegon I's warrior wife, Visenya. Though Rhaenyra was no warrior herself, in her youth she was described as the most beautiful maiden in all the realm. She always dressed richly, favoring purple and maroon velvets and golden Moorish lace in intricate patterns. Her bodice often glittered with pearls and diamonds, and there was always rings on her fingers. Whenever she was anxious, she would turn them compulsively round and round. She was very proud and stubborn, and there was a certain petulance to her small mouth. She gained a lot of weight after her first 3 pregnancies, even though she was only 20. Later in life, after 6 pregnancies, Rhaenyra became a stout woman with a thick waist and a large bosom. Ooh, sorry. Though Rhaenyra could be charming, she was quick to anger and never forgot a slight. In the Dance of the Dragons, she wore her father's crown, the one first worn by King Jaehaerys I Targaryen. Ruling Princess of Dragonstone. At the age of 16 at 113 AC, Rhaenyra took possession of Dragonstone. She married Sir Lenore Valerian in 114 AC, though it took the threat of moving her status as heir to the throne to convince her to accept the marriage. Rhaenyra did not feel the need to marry a man with interests like Lenore's. She was reported to have stated that my half-brothers would be more to his taste, quote unquote, with her father. Lenore and Rhaenyra had 3 sons together: Jaehaerys, that is Jace Valerian, Lucerys, that is Luke Valerian, and Joffrey, that is Joff Valerian. All were near adulthood and had dragons of their own when Rhaenyra's father, Viserys I, died. It was rumored that those sons of Rhaenyra's were actually fathered by her lover, Sir Harwin Breakbones Strong, as all 3 of them were born with brown hair, even though Rhaenyra and Rhaenyra both had light silver gold hair. The truth of the parentage of Rhaenyra's three oldest children is still unclear. Rhaenyra's other sons, the future Aegon III and Viserys II, were fathered by her second husband, her uncle Prince Daemon Targaryen, the most experienced warrior of his time. They married after the death of Daemon's second wife and Rhaenyra's rumored lover, Harwin Strong. The news of their wedding caused a great scandal at the court of King's Landing and made Rhaenyra's father livid. It took some time before Viserys and Daemon reconciled. Dance of the Dragon. Rhaenyra was her father's designated heir, and he intended that she would succeed him. Viserys' intent had been confirmed by a proclamation of his will. However, when King Viserys I Targaryen died in 129 AC, Sir Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, and Sir Criston Cole, Lord Commander of the King's Guard, and possibly the former lover of Rhaenyra, defied the king's will and instead crowned Rhaenyra's half-brother, Alicent's son, Aegon II, who was 10 years younger. This brought about the Targaryen Civil War known as the Dance of the Dragons, in which dragon riders fought each other. During the war, Rhaenyra rode her dragon, Syrax. At the time of her father's death, Rhaenyra was on Dragonstone, awaiting the birth of her sixth child. The conspirators in King's Landing ensured that the news of the king's death did not reach her until after all her supporters in the Red Keep were dead or in prison, and Aegon II's coronation had already occurred. When news did reach her, she went into a black fury and went into early labor, producing a deformed, stillborn daughter. She blamed this tragedy on the enemies who had stolen her crown. Rhaenyra needed a coronation of her own, which was hastily arranged. The arrival of Sir Stephen Darklyn of the King's Guard on Dragonstone, accompanied by some other supporters, was therefore celebrated, as they brought with them the crown King Viserys I and Jaehaerys I had worn. Thanks to this act, Rhaenyra was crowned with her father's crown by her husband and uncle, Prince Daemon Targaryen. To gain more support to take the throne from her brother, Rhaenyra sent her son, Jace, on his dragon to treat with the Arryns, Manderleys, and Starks, and her son Luke to treat with Lord Boros Baratheon at Storm's End. Luke's mission was thought to be the safer, but he arrived at Storm's End to find Queen Alicent's younger son, Aemon, already there. Aemon, riding Vhagar, killed Luke over Shipbreaker Bay as he attempted to leave after failing to gain Lord Boros' allegiance. The news of Luke's death devastated his mother. Rhaenyra took the capital and sat in the throne for roughly half a year. Upon taking the city, Rhaenyra insisted on claiming her father's seat, and so she climbed the Iron Throne and accepted pleas of forgiveness and loyalty from those in the Red Keep all throughout the night. Although Rhaenyra was dressed in armor, Septon Eustace claimed that those present witnessed the throne leaving several cuts on her legs and left hand. The dripping blood was taken as a sign that the throne had rejected her. Her days as ruler would be few. Those living in King's Landing initially welcomed Rhaenyra's return as a ruler, but they had always had little love for Aegon II Targaryen and his brother Aemon. Once in power, however, the spikes of the gates started to be filled with more and more heads each day, and the taxes increased. The small folk slowly started to turn against her, and eventually named her King Maegor with Teats. This term would remain a common curse in King's Landing for 100 years thereafter. After hearing of the two betrayers, Rhaenyra grew paranoid and declared the two remaining dragon seeds, Sir Adam Valerian and the Geralt Nettles, both traitors, a decision with disastrous consequences. Rhaenyra's hand, Lord Corlys Valerian, who had named Sir Adam his heir, lured Sir Adam in time for the knight to flee upon the back of the dragon Seasmoke. This led to the arrest of Lord Corlys, which caused the fleet of House Valerian to abandon Rhaenyra's cause. In order to have Nettles killed, Queen Rhaenyra had sent a letter to Lord Manfred Luton, commanding him to kill the girl. Lord Luton refused, as Nettles was under the protection of guest right. He feared Prince Daemon would kill them if they followed Rhaenyra's orders, but saw there was no winning option, since refusing to obey Rhaenyra's orders would make him a traitor to the crown. Insisting that King Viserys I and Jaehaerys I would never have asked such a thing, Lord Manfred then decided to change his allegiance to King Aegon II Targaryen, after both the girl Nettles and Prince Daemon had left his roof for the very last time. After the storming of the Dragon Pit, Rhaenyra fled King's Landing. Terrorized and despairing, she grew gray and haggard as she traveled past Rossby and Stokeworth and Duskendale. Rhaenyra was forced to sell her crown to raise the coin to buy passage on a Braavosi merchant ship, the Violandi. When she reached Dragonstone, Rhaenyra was betrayed by Sir Alfred Bruin, whose men slew the remainder of her queen's guard. Her half-brother Aegon II then had her fed to his own dragon, Sunfire, at Dragonstone. King Aegon II decreed that Rhaenyra was never a queen, and that she be referred to only as princess in all chronicles and court records. So, then there is the fact that there is Daemon now, and about Daemon, okay, this is in regard to his second marriage. Daemon's wife, Rhea Royce, died from falling from a horse in 115 AC. Daemon departed to the Vale of Arryn to claim Runestone, which had been Rhea's seat, but he was refused by House Royce. Not welcome in the Vale, Daemon turned to Driftmark, where he laid eyes upon the enchanting Rhaenyra Targaryen, the beautiful daughter of his friend, Lord Corlys. After killing in a duel Rhaenyra's betrothed, the son of the Sea Lord of Braavos, Daemon asked the Sea Snake for his daughter's hand. While singers say Daemon fell in love with Rhaenyra at first sight, others state Daemon married into mighty House Valerian to check his own descent from power, as he had been pushed far down the line of succession and made many enemies in his adventures. Because the marriage had been without consent of King Viserys I Targaryen, Daemon and Laena left Westeros, abandoned the Stepstones, and toured the Free Cities. They remained in Pentos for some time when they learned that Laena was pregnant, causing their daughters Baela and Rhaena to be born there in 116 AC. Daemon wrote his brother begging leave to present his daughters to court to receive a royal blessing. The small council advised the king to refuse, but Viserys replied, "Daemon is a father now. He will have changed." Viserys' daughter Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, was wed to Laena's brother, Sir Lenore Valerian. While Rhaenyra disliked her stepmother, Queen Austin Hightower, she became fond of Laena, and the two often rode together on their dragons. Under the blessing of King Viserys, Rhaenyra betrothed her two eldest sons, Jacaerys and Lucerys Valerian, to Baela and Rhaena. Laena died in 120 AC, however, trying to birth Daemon a son who died as well. Third marriage. In 120 AC, Daemon married again, this time to his niece, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen. This marriage was performed suddenly without the knowledge of King Viserys I Targaryen, and was scandalous since neither Laena nor Lenore Valerian, Rhaenyra's previous husband, had been dead for 6 months. According to Mushroom, the court jester, it was Daemon who arranged the death of Lenore by paying Sir Khal Drogo to kill him, thus making Rhaenyra available to marry. Daemon and Rhaenyra had 2 sons together, Prince Aegon the Younger, born in 120 AC, and Prince Viserys, born in 122 AC. They also had a stillborn daughter, Princess Visenya, whose birth took place in the 3rd month of 129 AC. The Dance of Dragons, in as far as Daemon's participation. While Viserys I Targaryen had decreed Rhaenyra Targaryen his heir, Sir Criston Cole crowned Queen Alicent Hightower's son, Aegon II Targaryen, after Viserys' death in 129 AC. At the start of the Civil War, called the Dance of the Dragons, Prince Daemon had more experience in warfare than all their foes combined. During Rhaenyra's rival coronation on Dragonstone, Daemon placed the crown of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen on the head of his wife, proclaiming her queen and claiming himself protector of the realm. Daemon led the assault on Harrenhal, capturing the ruined castle from its castellan, Sir Simon Strong, without conflict by landing Caraxes on top of Kingspire Tower. After hearing of the death of his stepson, Prince Lucerys Valerian, at the hands of his nephew, Prince Aemon Targaryen, Daemon, through his spymaster and former mistress Mysaria, hired blood and cheese to murder a son of Aegon II. The enemies made by Daemon during his earlier adventures came back to haunt the Blacks when Sir Otto Hightower, now the hand of the King of Aegon II, recruited the Triarchy to send a fleet against them. The Battle of the Gullet broke the Valerian blockade of Blackwater Bay and killed Daemon's stepson, Jacaerys. Daemon abandoned Harrenhal when Aemon and Criston began marching on the great castle of the Host of Greens. Instead, Daemon flew Caraxes back to King's Landing and assisted Rhaenyra with capturing King's Landing. While searching for Aemon and Vhagar, who were burning the Riverlands, Daemon took Nettles for a bedmate and made their base in Maidenpool. Maester Norrin informed Daemon that Queen Rhaenyra wanted Nettles dead, to which Daemon replied, "A queen's words, a whore's work." Daemon thanked the Maester for the warning, and he and Nettles separated the next morning. Daemon challenged Aemon, waiting for 13 days at Harrenhal until Aemon stopped burning the Riverlands to come face him. The battle above the God's Eye ended in the deaths of both riders and both dragons. Daemon was 49 when he died. Unlike Aemon's body, however, Daemon's was never found. Singers say that Daemon lived to spend the rest of his days in secret with Nettles, but most historians disagree. Daemon never achieved his ambition and sat on the Iron Throne, though his sons Aegon III and Viserys II eventually did. In 170 AC, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen named her bastard son Daemon Waters after her grandfather. Now, there was also a brother to Rhaenyra and Targaryen, whose name was Aegon Targaryen, son of Balon. Prince Aegon Targaryen was the youngest child of Prince Balon Targaryen and Princess Alyssa Targaryen. His older brothers were King Viserys I, and Prince Daemon Targaryen. He presumably died young, as he is not mentioned in Archmaester Gildane's work concerning the life of Prince Daemon Targaryen, the Rogue Prince, or the King's brother, detailing the reign of Viserys I Targaryen. Baelon Targaryen, son of Viserys I. Prince Baelon Targaryen was the second-born son of King Viserys I Targaryen and his wife, Queen Aemma Arryn. In history, Queen Aemma died giving birth to Baelon. He was named after his grandfather, Prince Baelon the Brave. The infant died one day after his birth. While the court was grieving and bereft over the deaths of Baelon and Aemma, Prince Daemon Targaryen was observed in the street of Silk with his highborn cronies making drunken jokes about the heir for a day. The word of this reached King Viserys I Targaryen, became livid, and named his daughter Rhaenyra Targaryen his heir to spite his ungrateful and callous brother's ambition.